Welcome to the pathway for the book of Philippians. We're starting a brand new adventure in this book where we see the city of Philippi, a place where kings and heroes came to make their fame and their fortune, but whose entire legacy has been tied up now to Jesus Christ. It's going to be a lot of fun over the next couple of months. This will actually take us just right into the Christmas season. And so we're really seeing how this book becomes wrapped around the Christmas story, the fact that Jesus came to earth and that his life becomes a pattern for our life. So I know that many of you are actually part of a study group that is doing Philippians in this season. So I thought I would use today's video just to give you a little bit of an overview of how this pathway guide works in case you haven't used that before. So when you come into the building on Sundays, when you get the message notes in the program, the pathway guide is right on the flip side of that and essentially goes through a few different kind of pieces. The first is just to read the passage, to talk to God about what you're reading, ask him to reveal himself to you and begin to teach you that things in the passage would stand out to you. Then there are a couple explore questions. Some of those you can answer without even looking at the text, just to try to get you kind of into the mind space that Paul or the passage would be in. Then the dig deeper questions are where we really start to make kind of deep observations and begin to interpret, what does that actually mean? If that's what God says, why did he say that? Which moves us into then, how do we live it out? Those kind of application things. One thing I've noticed in my own Bible study, it's easy to come up with an application like, what should I do this week? I should be more loving. That's a good application. And then I don't actually do anything with it. And so the try it section at the bottom of the pathway is almost what you might call actualization. Like, try it means, what am I actually going to try to do this week? Something specific. And so this week, we're matching the one that Chad gave us at the end of the message, which is to begin to memorize those 8 verses from Philippians 2, 4 through 11, all about Jesus at the center of this book. So if you haven't tried memorizing scripture before, or if you haven't done it for a while, it can seem kind of daunting at first. So here's a couple tips that help me. I like to memorize it like a phrase or a sentence at a time, repeat that one until I feel like I can get it, and then add the next phrase or the next sentence. And if I do that for a few minutes a day, like Chad is challenging us to do 8 minutes of some memorization, some meditation on these verses, then I found what's actually really helpful to get it to stick long term is if like half an hour later or something, when I randomly think of it, I try to say it to myself again, like to see if I can do it, not when I've said it 10 times in a row, but after thinking about something else for a little while. And then again, like right before I go to bed. So now it's been like 12 hours since I thought about it. So maybe that works for you. Maybe you find something different that works for you better. Some people love to write it out. Writing it helps lock it in. But I think you'll really enjoy not just reading it and thinking about it, but starting to commit it to memory and seeing how the Spirit will bring up things that he's teaching you through his word throughout the day. So would you join us on this journey in Philippians? I think you're going to enjoy it because it is largely known as the book of joy as we move into this Christmas season. Thank you for watching today, and we'll see you next week.